All right, so you're trying to figure out where your drain fields are for your septic system. First thing you're going to want to do is identify where the tank is. On this particular system, this is the front access point of the tank, meaning the back of the tank is going to be roughly right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the surrounding yard, and we're going to try and identify roughly where we would expect it to be. We see that it's pretty flat, so that could mean that you could have diagonal or straight lines, or it could run against the hill or against the yard from property line to property line. What we can see is this house is from 1956, so the odds are that it's probably a tile drain field made out of clay tile pipe, or it's going to be a pit somewhere over here. The first step that I do to eliminate the option for a pit is I sweep the yard using a metal detector. The reason I do that is the metal detector is going to pick up the rebar in the lid of the pit or the clean out, which would look just like this one. And then I would be able to use that probe over there to identify where that lid is, open it up and see inside the pit. I've already swept this yard in a grid-like pattern, did not find anything metallic. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around the yard and I'm going to see if I see any indentation in the yard. So it may not come through as well on the camera, but you can see right here, and right there are little divots in the grass, as well as some slight little additional vegetation. So what we do is once I identify that location, to confirm my theory that there's a drain field over there, we'll take this T probe and we will actually wedge it into the ground until we hear the stone. From there, we pull this up and then we're going to look. We're going to see, is the end of the probe white with stone, like a chalky-like residue, kind of like this? Or is it wet? Is there any kind of biomat that pops up? In this particular circumstance, this drain field looks like it's in pretty good shape. This house was occupied by a 92-year-old lady who's moving on into an assisted living home, so we don't necessarily have to worry about too much water usage. The main concern with a system of this age is going to be the pipes under the ground, the distribution box, as well as just the general manufacturing of these trenches. The most common failure for this type of trench is a collapse in the distribution box. How we check for that is we're going to dig up the lid on the back of the tank in a minute, put a camera through there, identify where that box is, and see what that box looks like, and make our determination from there. It's always a good idea whenever you get your septic system evaluated to have somebody who has the proper tools to locate and probe your trenches, but it's also a good idea to consider going a little bit above and beyond to get a camera to actually see what the pipes look like, see what the inside of the distribution box looks like, so that way you can find an issue that may be a little bit more difficult to uncover unless you had that camera.